everyone. Welcome back to the Social Media and Influence Marketing Podcast. Today we're talking all about LinkedIn groups, not just as another box to check off for networking, but as a real engine for the credibility and influence you need as a thought leader.
This is like prime marketing nerd territory, how endorsements actually happen instead of, collecting profile likes. There's just this whole hidden layer in groups that most people, I think, totally miss. It's not about shouting into the void, but picking the right groups and conversations so you can get on the radar of actual thought leaders.
Exactly. And the thing is, people who are looking for partners or speakers or even new hires, they're not just browsing profiles and looking at your likes. They really lean on endorsements, especially those from people already respected in the industry. It's like street cred, but for B2B. And from what I was reading, getting those endorsements isn't as easy as just being in a random group or having generic keywords, right?
Yeah, and honestly, the first time it really clicked for me was, let me tell a quick story. So I was just starting out, super active in a niche digital marketing group, answering questions, chiming in on campaign trends. Out of nowhere, this well-known influencer, like one of those people who gets quoted in Forbes, endorsed my paid social strategy skill right there on my profile. I'm just sitting at my kitchen table, totally freaking out because, why me? But that endorsement, it led to a speaking invite for a digital marketing hackathon later that year. I would have never even been on their list if I didn't show up in that group with the right skill focus. It was wild.
That's awesome. And it actually mirrors what the research says. You've got to be strategic, choosing not just the right groups, but also listing skills on your profile that matter to those leaders. For example, in the fitness sector, stuff like personal training, functional fitness, real terms that active professionals are getting endorsed for, not just, fitness industry enthusiast.
Totally, because LinkedIn's algorithm tends to push up people endorsed by thought leaders for pro-level keywords. If you're too broad or too generic, you're invisible. Also, some groups are just too big. You might get lost unless you join in active conversations or even jump in when trending topics pop up. That's your chance to stand out and actually earn those high-value endorsements.
Right on. And, according to some of the best practices, it's way better to join a couple of solid, busy groups where your voice gets noticed, instead of 20 where nobody ever posts. The active presence of SMEs, real conversations, even expert panels, these are things to look for. Okay, where was I going with this? It's about being visible when it matters. All right, let's shift gears toward outreach because I think that ties in really nicely.
Yeah, let's dig into this. So building credibility is kind of the individual side, but the brand play is using groups to break into new communities and earn genuine goodwill, especially locally. Brands in regionally focused LinkedIn groups are doing more than networking. They're getting on the preferred local vendor shortlist by actually showing up for youth programs, wellness events, or environmental causes. That's what gets attention beyond your profile. That is such a power move for local exposure. And you make a good point. Picking the right group is a science too. Brands should look for groups with evidence of active members, real-life event histories, and a track record for cause-driven outreach. For example, in Dr. Barry's fitness center case, they vetted dozens of groups, but narrowed them down to a handful with big memberships, active organizers, and consistent annual initiatives. Not every local group is worth your time. Some are ghost towns.
Totally. And being involved has to be authentic. Dropping into a group just to promote your stuff, people see right through that. It's the actual contributions, like donating resources, sending your team to help at youth sports clinics, or offering real expertise at health festivals. That stand out. Plus, it boosts goodwill and makes people want to endorse you or refer you. Oh, and if you want that local press, reporters sniff around group feeds for good stories, especially if you can show collaboration and a visible impact.
Yeah, it's a win-win. And I have to mention, brands sometimes forget. You can get a ton of repeat exposure if you pick groups that host annual or recurring events. That way, your company becomes part of the community's rhythm, not just a one-off story. All right, now tell me, how do alliances and business partnerships come into play?
Great segue. So you've established yourself, helped the community, and now you want to take it to the next level. Collaborations. LinkedIn groups make it ridiculously easy to spot and connect with complementary businesses. It's not just fitness center meets personal trainer anymore. You see wedding planners teaming up with caterers, or fitness clinics with physical therapy centers. The whole idea is to form these one-stop shop alliances, where everyone offers a slice of the solution, and clients love it.
Yes, and mapping your business expertise to the right LinkedIn industry groups is kind of the key. It's not just what your company does, it's what pain points you solve. Like, if your fitness center specializes in injury rehab, you want groups full of sports therapists or HR benefits managers. You can't just join every wellness group under the sun. You have to pick, like, the ones where your expertise, let's call it relevant value, will really land. I might be rambling, but you get what I mean, right?
No, that totally makes sense. And I always mess up this next part. Was it about narrowing to like 10 key groups? Yeah, so you start with a huge list from mapping keywords and industry categories, but then you filter down based on group size, how much the influencers actually post, and whether or not you'll have a strong voice. It's honestly a lot more work than most people realize, but that curation pays off.
And now, let's talk content. Because once you find the right group, it comes down to what you share. No pressure, right? But seriously, the research says your titles and openers have to grab people in like 2 seconds. Try stuff like lists, 7 surprising gym mistakes management makes, flipped contexts, even questions that hit a real pain point, anything that proves you know the audience's challenges. I tried this in a challenge campaign for a niche HR wellness group, and our post went totally viral. It started with, struggling to engage remote employees in wellness? Here's how we made our program irresistible, without a single Zoom yoga session. It took off because we spoke right to a frustration and delivered a real solution, not just fluff.
You nailed it. And yeah, that campaign style lines up with the best practice content strategies, like instructional posts, timely event roundups, or how-to explainers that highlight your authority. LinkedIn groups value both timeless pieces, stuff that's always useful, and timely content about current trends. And with the newer tools like thought leader ads, you can even amplify your group posts to wider audiences, making collaboration and endorsements go even further. Lenovo, for example, ran an experiment, boosting posts from their own experts. Massive engagement, way above average benchmarks.
Oh yeah, their engagement rates were something wild, like 6 times the LinkedIn norm, right? So for anyone listening, don't sleep on groups. Pick the right partners, join select groups, and deliver content with a human hook. That is honestly the playbook for big impact.
Well, I think we covered the main ground. Get strategic about endorsements, make real contributions for local goodwill, and team up like it's 2026. If you're into LinkedIn or ready to level up those group interactions, track back through these ideas and try a test campaign for yourself.
Bye everyone, see you next episode.